It was a lovely sunny autumn morning on the railway. The birds were singing and the clear blue sky...
What the hell is this doing in my good shed? Out with you, right now! Come on, get!
Oh dear, the angry foreman does not like Loco sleeping in the good shed. He says that the diesel fumes taint everything. Just wait till he finds out this one has 6 engines. Let's start her up. Yes, that's right, the Fell had a total of 6 diesel engines. 2 smaller ones for powering the auxiliaries such as fans, pumps and lights, and 4 for traction. The 4 traction engines were 500 horsepower each and were directly connected to the gearbox via a special reduction mechanism and fluid clutches. Here is a mock-up of the gearbox with electric motors instead of diesel engines. There is a fascinating video. I'll link to the video in the description box so that you can go and have a good look. The Fell Locomotive was the only high-powered diesel mechanical loco to be produced by British Railways. It emerged from Derby in late 1950 and was a joint project of the LMS under H.G. Ivatt and Lieutenant Colonel Fell of Fell Developments Limited, and Shell Petroleum, which helped finance the project. Why diesel mechanical, you ask? Well, this method should have been far more efficient in transferring all the power from the engines to the rails. Diesel electrics that have engines powering generators have quite high losses. In fact, the output of the Fell's engines compared well with 2,000 horsepower diesel electrics already in use. The driver would operate a series of levers to control the engine speed, and still more to operate the fluid clutches to engage each engine depending on the speed. Engine 1 worked on its own from 0 to 10 miles an hour. Engine 2 was added between 10 and 17, with Engine 3 joining the fun between 17 and 22. Finally, Engine 4 was added between speeds of 22 and 72. Any of the engines could be used as Engine 1 to 4. The Fowl was dogged by bad luck and weak components. One example being in September 1951, when an engineer from Shell called at Derby to inspect the lubricants in the axle boxes. He was told that this had already been done on Loco 10,001. Oops. This meant that the Fowl 10,100 went into service with near dry axle boxes, which completely seized shortly after. An expensive misunderstanding. Being seized, an attempt was made to move the Loco, which resulted in the side rod cranks being displaced and considerable overload on the gearbox. In July 1952, after 35,000 miles, a 3/4 inch screw fell into the teeth of the reversing wheel when running at 50 miles an hour. Nearly every component in the lower gearbox was damaged as a result. Also in 1952, a great deal of time on shed was caused by the bearings of the coupling rods, due to the locked up stresses between the centre rods and the gearbox. So it was now that the centre rods were removed, solving the issue, but the locomotive remained a 484 as the wheel sets were still connected by the gearbox. The Fowl did suffer from inadequate braking power, so it could not work the many loose couple freight trains in operation at the time. In the summer of 1958, a severe fire in the steam heat boiler saw the Fowl withdrawn after running 80,000 miles. Without doubt, the Fowl proved itself and the concept of diesel mechanical traction. However, it was considered too expensive to maintain, and so this unique locomotive became part of our rich railway history.